Okay, I'm standing here at L'Orange Place, which is where a gate went up about 3 years ago, and that started the whole beach access movement here in Kailua. Now, one of the things you'll probably remember them saying is that it really wasn't a very far walk to the next public access. At the time, I didn't know where the public accesses were, so I started going to the right. Now, if you go to the right, down Kalaheo Avenue, it turns out that the next public access isn't for over a half a mile. All these other streets that you see on the side have either gates or signs that say no trespassing, that sort of thing, no beach access. But there is a public access if you go down to the left, and according to the L'Orange Place people, it's a pretty short walk. So what I'm going to do is cross the street when I get a chance. There is no crosswalk around here on Kainui Drive, and I'll show you just how short a walk it really is. Okay, I'm back. I've just started across the road to avoid the traffic. Now imagine you're a parent with kids and you'd like to go to the beach. You used to be able to just walk straight down this street here to get there. Now, here's what we have to do. Stay with me because it's going to be a little bit hairy. This is what I go through every day now that when I try to get to the beach to jog down there or just take a walk. As you can see, it's pretty narrow, especially when there's a bicycle rider heading in your direction or somebody walking their dogs. You might say, well, why not cross to the other side of the street? It's actually just as narrow over there. The other thing people have been asking me about is what do I think about the new law that's been proposed that would make beachfront property owners responsible for maintaining the vegetation in front of their properties. Well, I'm going to show you an example why I don't think it's going to work very well. Now, right ahead of me, you see what happens when property owners are responsible for the upkeep of the unimproved sidewalk areas along the road, which is the law that the vegetation law is modeled on. Over 2 years ago, I contacted both the city and state asking what could be done about this dangerous situation on Kalaheo here, where there's barely enough space to walk. I'm just walking by myself. Now, again, imagine you're trying to walk with somebody else or a couple of kids in tow. You can see it's pretty dangerous. Well, I was told that under the city's law, the homeowners are responsible for maintaining that stretch of pavement, and if there was debris and that kind of stuff, they had to remove it. If they did not remove it, then the city could remove it and then bill them. Well, after 2 years and multiple contacts with both Barbara Marshall, when she was a city council person, and then her successor, Ikaika Anderson, nothing has been done. Supposedly, the city sent notifications to the property owners, and they never followed up. Even after I followed up and asked, well, what happened? Again, nothing. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen with this vegetation law that's being passed. Although the DLNR says they will remove the vegetation and bill the homeowners if nothing is done, I'm kind of skeptical that's going to happen. Moreover, I think some of these property owners are going to say, well, take me to court. And then does the state intend on following through with that threat? Will they pay to fight these battles in court? Again, I think the answer is going to be no because of money. As you can see, I'm still talking and I'm still walking from that short little distance from L'Orange Place. Now, I haven't measured it, but I can tell you it's a lot more than the 200 feet that they were claiming when they were going on camera, when the news reporters were here, and what they were saying in the newspaper and what they were writing in their blog comments. Fact of the matter is, I doubt that many of those people in L'Orange Place have actually walked down here, and I doubt very many of them would go to the beach very often if they had to do what I've just done as far as negotiating that dangerous part of Kalaheo and walking all of this distance. It's not a real short walk as they claim. But nothing has happened in the past 2 years, primarily because of the economic situation. The legislature feels that there's more important things they have to do, and since nobody has taken them to court over this issue yet, there's really no reason for them to do anything. The people who live in these beachfront homes like their privacy. I understand that. And at the same time, I feel that if you're going to buy a piece of property next to a public beach, well, you know that the law says everybody in Hawaii has the right to use those beaches. But at the same time, what we're seeing here, and you'll see when we finally do get to the beach, we now have semi-private beaches. And that's one of the reasons President Obama and his family stay here in Kailua Beach, because it doesn't take a lot to block off the public from where they stay, because there is no public access at that end of the beach. This is it. So I'll rejoin you when I finally get there, and I'll show you. This is what I mean about where President Obama and his family stayed. It's all the way at the end there, and it's easy for them to block off because from here on down to that end, there is not one single public access, which is ideal for the people down at this end as far as maintaining their privacy. But surfers who like to come out here to Castle have complained because the only place they can park is on one of these side streets, which has a gate on it, on their own private access. I was here earlier this year when a surfer got injured down at this end. When I was jogging to the beach, I came across some paramedics who were trying to push the gurney down that long path that you just saw me walking on. When they got down to here, I showed them. I said, hey, those surfers are way down there. You're going to have to push your gurney through the sand to reach them, unless you can get permission from the people who live next to the gate further down to drive down there and see if they'll open it up for you. I don't think the injuries to the surfer were life-threatening, so the extra time it took them to do that didn't result in any kind of major problems or death. However, if it was somebody who was suffering from a heart attack, or if it was a drowning victim, that person would have died. And unfortunately, that's probably what it will take before we see any kind of change or any kind of law that requires these homeowners to open up these lock gates.